What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt, wearing my new Goat Damn Merle t-shirt, and joining me is the personality himself, Chris Anthony Lopez.
Ooh, what's going on, everybody? I'm wearing my plain white or my plain black long sleeve shirt. That's what I'm rocking with today. But I do agree, the goat over there, right there, is Dan Merle. That's what we're rocking with today. But no, we have a big show. Probably the biggest one we've done so far. It's our first crossover. If you guys haven't seen our stuff on social media, first of all, follow us on social media, all that fun stuff. Subscribe, do all that jazz. But we have guests today, and we usually don't have guests, so I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, so before our guests come on, I do want to make them feel a little bit more at home, so we're going to do this.
Oh, that's hot.
That's
Ain't that hot? That's hot. Go ahead and sub.
So if you can't tell already, we have the guys from the Ultimate Schmoedown podcast coming on. So without further ado, let's bring them on. We have Bogz.
Yo.
And Colin. How you folks doing today?
Yo,
boys. Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful.
Oh,
Let me help.
Hold
on. Yeah. I've set the mood. There we go.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. See, we're over here trying to, roll out the blue carpet in this case, but that's what we're doing. We're over here trying to, make you guys feel comfy and talk some Schmoedown. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, man, gentlemen, absolutely gentlemen. Yeah, let's do it. We've been looking forward to this. So.
Yeah, I know. So I know I popped by your show via chat last week, but last week's matches were just nuts. I mean, they were great, and I'm living for them. One was a surprise, one not so much. How you guys feeling about them?
Surprise. I'm trying to think of, because it depends on what you say by surprise. Because for those who don't know, I've been a real advocate for Adam Collins in this whole tournament. Not that I knew him or knew of him before the tournament started, but just something about his match with the Gallegos made me think, okay, so there's something up with this dude. I don't know what the hell it is, but there's something, we should keep tabs on him. And then he freaking TKO'd Roca, and then all hell broke loose. And I feel like that's what this tournament's been, just hell breaking loose throughout the singles tournament or the singles division in the Schmoedown. So unless that is your surprise in the Adam Collins match, then I guess, but to some people, that may not be the case. But might as well just start with that one, if you guys don't mind, with Adam Collins and Brendan Meyer. Because this match was, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it, the best match at the tournament. By far. Chance and Del Rio's this close. But that's where I'm leaning. Meyer and Collins had a freaking barn burner.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, I don't know if whoever hasn't seen it yet, but Snyder and Irwin is one for the money, two for the show.
No spoilers.
No. But I was saying, Matt, this is worthy stuff. This is like, you drop that $10, patrons, do it.
Yes.
It is, woo!
Fire.
Explosions. Too much.
But before that, because not everyone has seen the match. I'm looking forward to this not only because it's the finals of that side of the bracket, but this whole tournament has been stellar. And to me, Collins and Meyer, it was more than just what they brought to the table. It's what it means for the future of the Schmoedown. Because last week, Matt, we talked about it on the show. These are two, if they're not stars already, they're going to be stars going forward.
Yeah.
Brendan Meyer, he's made 2020 his year. I know he started off on the rocky note with the triple threat in New York, but my God, that he's been killing it ever since. Can
you really call losing the Dan Merle by 1 point a rocky note? A rocky start?
Well, it's everything that surrounded that. It was the aftermath and how Coy looked like. He didn't look like the best manager at the time, but he's done a full 180, in my opinion, ever since. But Brendan Meyer, he became a star in this year. Like if he wasn't a star before, 2020 proved to be his year. Season 7 was the shit. And going against Adam Collins, a guy that I see so much potential. And this is a future champ. I don't care if it's teams, if it's singles, or whatever the hell. Adam Collins will hold gold at some point in his Schmoedown career. It's a matter of time. And we got to see that during this match. This went to sudden death. My God. Like, if you would have told me that Meyer would have faced against Collins, the rookie out of corruption in this tournament, in the semi or the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the hell is Adam Collins? And why is he taking the kid to sudden death and beating him in sudden death?
4 questions.
That's nuts to me.
Correctly.
Yeah, like I thought, like, yo, and I can't speak for Ethan and Snyder, but this is the best match I've seen so far. And Chance and Del Rio put a similar match on in the first round, nonetheless. But to me, Collins and Meyer was the jam. That's everything I wanted from the Schmoedown. And it was a perfect amalgamation of what this tournament's been so far.
Gentlemen,
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think. Is there any other match? But no, you might be right. Especially in this tournament in particular. But mine was so close, man. Like, he just missed that I Tonya question in round 2. And if he would have hit that, then in round 3, obviously Colin missed his 3-pointer, and he would have won the match. Basically, if everything else carried on, and if he would have hit either the I Tonya question or went multiple choice and got it. So yeah, like, he played so well and still lost. But yeah, you're definitely right. He's definitely come through as a real contender now, because we knew last season he was a good player, but now he looks like he can go toe to toe with anyone, basically any top 5, any top 10 player. So yeah, going into the teams match, I mean, that's just hyped up my kind of anticipation for that match on Friday. So yeah, obviously Maya was unlucky, but yeah, Collins is just the player in form at the minute. He looks like he doesn't have many weaknesses. So we haven't seen yeah, because obviously there's not that much footage on him altogether, but the footage that we do have, he looks like he's on fire. So yeah, I think you're right. It's like it's up there in the singles tournament anyway.
Matt, have you at all like changed your opinion on Adam Collins? Because I know you're not the corruption guy. I'm over here, the corrupt one from Spin from the Real. But I'm curious into your 2 cents, not only on Adam Collins' performance, but the match in general. We haven't really spoken about it.
I've never taken anything away from his matches. I just think he catches some lucky breaks here and there. Like there have been give me questions that players just seem to just blank on, and that ends up getting Collins his win.
Give me some 20-second stuff, bro. Like let me put you in these situations. Like, there's just some situations in this tournament that have been highly questionable. I've seen some stuff that has just been like, and this used to be a plug for a podcast that no longer exists. The questions in these tournaments have been consistently inconsistent, like through the rounds. And Adam seems to just be on the right side of enough calls that have gone his way. I will say the dude is focused. That is something that cannot be taken away, is that the guy, he's stoic. He knows he's he's comfortable in this situation. There's just some people, we've been talking about this for months since we've gone into this digital space. There are some people that are more comfortable not under the lights. Lightning Liz, one of those people. Adam Collins, one of those people. And there's just something to be said that this comfortability is not for, this indoor life ain't for everybody. But right now, Adam is he's in his wheelhouse.
I gotta agree with you, because think about it. The kid is an actor by trade. When we've seen him in studio, he seems more calm. I don't know how that's possible, but he always seems more calm in his matches in studio. You've seen it all this year whenever he's had a digital match. Heavy breathing. And it's like, this isn't a calm, cool, collected kid that I granted, he's still a great competitor. It's not this. I feel like I'm watching someone else completely almost when I'm watching his matches digitally, and it's just weird.
The information's still the same, the knowledge is still the same, but the demeanor, like you said, demeanor is what's different. It's the way he carries himself. It's not like there was something about the way you could like. There's a way that some people have done the character change well. There's Lon. I think Lon is like 1A, B. He's like 1 through 10 of the top 10 of people who have done a character, just a heel flip in this game. It's been unbelievable. The kid had a really strong showing with the Mr. Beast stuff. It's like Mr. Beast. And that was something he could play to. Right now, they're kind of equals. They both win as far as each other in the tournament. and now they both have to go play with each other and pick each other up rather than somebody still be riding high in this tournament. So it's just, he's got to find a groove, and I just don't think he wasn't able to find it by himself, at least.
And see, you brought in what I always wanted to bring in. He's always had the beast right there in the crowd sure, we might not be able to see it, but the beast is probably right there in the crowd, like, yo, just calm down, keep it cool. He's got himself. He's by himself. You saw how the beast was trying to calm him down in the teams match they had just a while back. So,
see, I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, I do want to be that guy, just to play devil's advocate. That's the game, though. The game changed the second coronavirus happened. And I understand your guys' point of view, but not everyone's going to transition perfectly. And I see what you're the kid's freaking out. He's damn near, like you said, Matt, hyperventilating, getting one question wrong, which ultimately sunk him, like what Bogz said. But that just look at Andrew Guy, right? Andrew, we know Andrew Guy could play better than what the hell he did against Ben Bateman. But just because he got too much into his own character and in his own house, in his own apartment, he got into his own head. I guarantee that does not happen.
We should just move on from that match before Bogz and I have a conniption. Bogz and I had a whole thing about that. I'm
pretty sure that was when we first got in contact, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I agree.
I didn't like that, man. Did not like that. But no, I do agree with what you're saying.
I got episode 9 by the Schmoedown.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no,
ouch.
No, seriously, I'm dead serious. I'm dead in terms of hype, in terms of things being built up, in terms of I paid $20 a month for the Schmoedown. If I had just paid $5 for that, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed, but instead, all right, I can't.
No, I'm the fact that you referred to as episode 9, I'm just I'm sitting here. I loved episode.
Yeah, 9. And Matt's over here he's like, that means he must have loved it. But Bogz, what were you saying before?
Just reiterating what you're saying. That I do kind of agree with the guys a little bit that Adam Collins has got a little bit of luck here and there, but at the same time, would he still get these wins in a studio match? But that's completely in an alternate universe kind of thing. This is the game now, and the fact that he has these advantages isn't his fault. That's just how he's been brought up in the game. Obviously, these guys, the other guys who he's beaten, have been brought up in the studio matches, but that's a different game. Currently now, we don't know how long it will be in this digital format for, and he's on top. He's got more experience. He's played so many matches in this format. He's just got the advantages. It's not his fault. So I do agree with what you're saying there, Chris, that it's just a game now, and everyone else has got to catch up.
We got Leo Logan, who I got to know a little bit in your chat last week. Brendan's singles run this season is 2-2. Yeah, and that's partly from the mistake of throwing him in that triple threat and making it Bibbs and putting 2 of your best players, and they're going to end up sitting out a while because of it. So, hey.
But just to add on to what Bogz just said, I totally get it in regards to Adam Collins being in his cave or whatever, the coyote corner, whatever the hell he's calling it. But the same thing can be said about Liz Shannon Miller. The same thing can be said about Ace Cabrera. The same thing can be said about multiple
I don't know if
players.
you can say that about Liz.
How?
Because Liz has actually played in studio.
We saw what she did in the studio. She was racking up L's, but now she's over here killing these. She beat Bibiani.
Yeah, Christian made that point yesterday on SEN.
Yeah, I was actually going to transfer into that because we were going to save it for later, but it seems like it's becoming prevalent now. He brought up how much he hates the digital form.
Cool. And I think it's not that he hates it, and that's kind of okay. Let's not New York post the quote.
Yeah,
the post in context. No. He said in context was he hates it in regards to storylines. He hates having to listen to people on Facebook and whatever, not have to. And look, some of y'all need to understand. And look, I can speak to this. I just graduated my degree in film and media production. Some of y'all don't understand what this
right now.
Some of y'all don't understand what this stuff on the back end is like. This stuff that we're doing right now has its ups and downs, but it is much easier than what they have to do in studio, and that's not always fun. Imagine if NFL players didn't get to go play on the field this year. Instead, they're like, why don't you guys just go play Madden? Why don't you guys just go transition and why don't you just go play positional Madden? Like, I might not like that a little bit. These guys have sacrificed this year, and they're still putting on a product, and the greats are still the greats. So that's another thing that we can get to is that the people who have also been extremely consistent are the ones who are raising their own bars. Ethan Irwin, Jeff Snyder, all these people who are still like even Bibbs transitioning to this. That wasn't easy for Bibbs. None of this is easy.
One great who hasn't transitioned that well, which is killing me, and that's John Roca, because I'm a Roca stan. So,
well, yeah, we kind of are too.
What this whole season has brought, and I've said on the show multiple times, this is the most important season the Schmoedown's ever had. It's either the first season, of course, the first season at Collider, or this one, as in regards to the most important, not even just best. Obviously, I do think competitively, this is one of the best seasons we've ever gotten. We haven't seen too much story because, we only had 2 months. But my God, the match quality has been stellar. And Christian even mentioned during that bit on SCN, he was so happy with it. He's on the edge of his seat every single day, like how we are watching these matches. But yeah, there's a lack of story, and people are gonna complain about it. Trust me, I'm a wrestling mark.
Go rewatch the Star Wars tournament. You scrub.
That too.
Some of y'all out here are whining and moaning about this stuff, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of I'm sick of opening up the Facebook app every single time and hearing somebody complain. You know what we need more of? The Jeff Snyder content of Jeff Snyder going in and being there and being like, here's my Venmo, shoot me $5 and let's see how good at this game you actually are. And then they deleted the comment and the post, and Bogz and I were pissed. But instead we got to upvote posts about people complaining about like, well, we could have more storylines. Well, we tried the storyline stuff, and it just ends up with Andrew Guy in his car 4 times a week, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
I'm hearing a lot of Andrew Guy dislike.
No.
He loves
I love Andrew Guy. I love Andrew Guy as a player.
That's my man right there.
That's fine. Well, he played like shit, and he got in his head, and so that is the stuff that he cannot do by himself. That's the stuff that he needs the lights. Andrew Guy lives for the lights. Like, I was born in the darkness. Like, he's the exact opposite. Like, he was literally born in bright lights with, big old bright bulbs pointing right at him. And he
came out the womb with those sunglasses too.
Exactly, with the sunglasses on. And he just doesn't have that at home. And I think the same thing can be said in some regard for Ben Bateman's initial struggles when he came into the digital realm in terms of finding his footing at home, because he did get into a flow of doing the backstage show. And so when you get into this vibe of podcasting, and then suddenly where you podcast is where you compete, that's 2 different places. That's and you got to switch that mindset. And suddenly he's got to be the boss. And it's like, am I going to go grab my briefcase right now and walk out of this place? Like, no, he was like, that would psych him out. It's all different. Cut these guys a break. Cut them some slack.
And it's weird. Like it's definitely weird. It's a hard transition. Like, shit, as a viewer, for all of us, are like, nah, like, this ain't it, bro. And then it got significantly better once the Star Wars tournament hit. Like, it was like a night and day. But in regards to the Facebook group that we're all a part of, we're all looking at it, all the trolls are coming out, and the whole storyline gimmick, I'm like, okay, I get it. Trust me. Like, I love professional wrestling. My favorite part of that is the damn promo. I kill for a good promo. Hence why Andrew Guy, when he was doing the hype for the Ben Bateman match, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my damn life. Like, this is so good. He's cutting promos.
You might have had 20/20 vision on those.
Yeah, like
which clouds the things you think are like not so great. It makes them greater because you haven't had a lot of good stuff lately.
But he was out here screaming and borderline crying in his car with strangers walking by. Like, that's commitment. Like, I don't know what the hell these people want. Because trust me, like, what we're over here doing on our own channel with the Reely Trivia Showdown, that's all we have to do. Because we have I'm in Oklahoma right now. Like, and they're in Cleveland, they're in Ohio. So it's like, what the hell are we going to do? I can't go over there and cut promos on them, no matter how much I want to.
He's in South Carolina. He's in England.
But okay, like, and that's just another feather in my cap. Like, shit's already hard. So, and it is going to be significantly easier in person. And once they get back to the studio, I hope they get back to the studio soon. I know Christian was talking about it. Can't wait for it. But as of right now, like, this is what we got to work with. And to me, this has been some great shit. Every single match that comes out is at least good. At the very least, we have not had a bad match. I mean, you can say what you want about Sabina and Lon, but Lon just proved how much he was a killer in that match. And that's the good I took away from it, and the good everybody took away from it. So this has been a killer tournament. a killer ass league in the last 3 months. My God, 3-4 months, and we're not even done yet. The teams tournament hasn't even happened yet, and people's heads are going to come off during that tournament because of how this format is for teams. So if the character isn't already being portrayed or conveyed over this camera, I don't know what else. I don't know what the hell else these people want. This is already the best they can do. They're killing it. People like Andrew, yeah, he's getting his ass stomped by his former teammate. But boy, I can't say I wasn't entertained. I cannot say I was not entertained watching that man drink Bacardi out of a bottle. If he was, you know what I mean. But still, it was nuts to watch. And the fact that these people can only do it over the phone after being so used to doing it in the studio, like trolls, dude. Like, damn, like don't watch them. We won't miss you.
If one of y'all ask where JTE is one more time, he's like, shut up. The dude, like, if you don't know, if you have the time to complain about stuff without doing like your initial like Twitter research or anything, guess what? Most of these people are pretty, transparent. Like John Roca's been on shows for like the last 6 weeks telling every troll in the world he's moving to San Diego except for giving his address. He's basically given his exact pinpoint location. Like, you just figure out anything for yourselves, guys. Like these people aren't, they're open books, and you guys are asking questions like, "Oh, where's JTE? Where's all these people?" Like, leave them alone.
It seems like the people, and I've noticed exactly what you're saying. To me, it seems like it's those people who are still wanting it to be what the league was
exactly
4 years ago.
We're dragging them behind, and that's another point I wanted to like throw to Bogz. Is that Bogz? Can you imagine if the character work from last season and in the season prior? So it's like from KO on, right? So from the corruption tournament on, okay? So everything in that bottle up until including the draft. So we'll put it in that mode. Combine it with the gameplay that we've seen over the last 4 months. This is like, it's just set to explode. It's just like the ceiling and they just keep getting raised.
Yeah, that's what it would have been this year. That's what I think. I mean, Chris, you mentioned the kind of transitions in the Schmoedown. I think that's one of them. The corruption era, the teams tournament, the anarchy tournament. Kalinowski coming into his own. I think that was another level of character work. That's what made me a hardcore fan. That watching that kind of corrupt, with Thad and all that kind of promo work, I was super interested in. From that kind of era, I was hardcore then. So I was fully in from there. But it goes back to what Chris mentioned. It's a different game now. Just whether it's pause, whether it's a new version of the Schmoedown, whatever, you just have got to go along with it. The main thing is we're getting good matches. If we didn't get good matches, I might be in that Facebook group as well, posting all kinds of stuff, but we're getting fire matches. So, I'm all good, really.
Yeah.
That's a good point, too. Like, if the match quality wasn't the best, I guarantee all 4 of us would be like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the
Schmoedown
today? We lived through some bad matches. I'm a season 1 vet. We've lived through some bad matches.
I watched Christian and Makuga, the final, and I'm like this match, like this, this Schmoedown has evolved exponentially.
Remember when Christian beat Snyder? That's what I was like, oh my God. And it was by like 1 point on the 5-pointer.
And Christian's like, people are going to be mad.
People are going to hate me. He's like, people are going to say I rigged this.
No,
the Schmoedown has grown so much. It's crazy.
But
like everyone's fighting
now, if you have a poor match, you're going to get torn apart on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube comments, whatever. And so like every match now, obviously it's not great. But I'm saying that's up the level. Yeah, exactly. That's up the level of competition week in, week out. Well, multiple times in the week now. So like you can't have a bad match. You just can't. That's the level we're at now.
I will say something I've loved is how the matches have become more balanced over the years. Because like back when we first started Reely Trivia and I was studying for the championship match, I went back and played along with some of the older championship matches, and like Christian and Dan's championship match where they were struggling with questions. You're just sitting there like. Some of those round 1 questions seemed like 3-pointers and so on. It was crazy, but it seems like
that's a testament to the writers too.
Yeah, but that was
they've
back
got
when
it way more organized now.
Because that was back when it was just Skalicki writing the questions, if I remember correctly.
Woo-hee!
Shout out to the man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the man.
But now we have these team of writers, and we're getting this really balanced, really entertaining product to where, to a certain degree, everyone can play along and through those first 2 rounds, depending on what the wheel lands on, basically. But it's still to the point where even just someone who doesn't know trivia can feel comfortable watching and having fun with it. So
the first time I really noticed that too was the Jericho Smith match. And I know they're trying to make the match as appealing to a general audience, not just us, but a general audience as they can. And I'm like, okay, like the questions, if this was freaking Dan and
Mark
Roka.
Bernardin didn't help either.
no,
Mark Bernardin went on Fat Man Beyond and was like giving him some of the questions, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm not gonna know that." He was like, granted, Kevin's like half as like not half. He's like 300 times as stoned as I ever am, and like it's like it goes on and does a full podcast, and the dude's like, "Nah," but then comes on and competes and like really competes, and that goes to what we're saying. Like the writers like give this guy like in the moment, he's like he goes in thinking there's no way he's going to win this match, and then legitimately competes, and that's something I think they do a great job of in some of these games that are more show matches, right? If we want to call these show
Kevin
matches.
Smith's next match,
right? Yeah, let's talk about
Elmo.
That's good.
I would down this right now. Thinking, look here, because I remember I'm the one who brought it up to you guys on Friday.
Bateman versus Guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one who brought it to your guys' attention on Friday that hey, we found out who it is. I didn't want to break. I'm like, I wasn't trying to break spoilers, but
no, you made it so I didn't have to watch a 2-hour podcast. So thanks.
I mean, well, he put it on Apple Podcast on Thursday, so I actually listened to it. I didn't even watch, so I knew from Thursday night.
Was it like 88% Kevin Smith and 12% Christian Harloff?
No,
Christian asked one question and Kevin talked for 2 hours.
No, I'd say it was like 60. It was 40 Christian, 60 Kevin.
Oh, that's fair.
It was a fun watch. It really was.
He's like, "Hey, Kevin, what's your name?" It's like that's a great question. Why I love Batman?
When I opened the secret stash, I thought to myself, should I rename myself Silent Bob just for tax purposes? Just for tax. And then finally, like, you know what I love about taxes?
Yeah.
Nothing. And it just like rolls into like.
God, I love Kevin Smith so much.
You actually, I will say this: it's not Schmoedown related, but people go listen to that podcast. It really was interesting. You learn a lot about Kevin's demeanor growing up from his early days as a filmmaker, because he goes on to Mallrats was going to ruin him because that didn't make jack shit, and then 10 years later, it's considered a lot of people consider it, me included, his best. No, Dogma's his best film. Mallrats is his second best film, but people consider it one of his best.
Chasing Amy guy.
I got to get you in contact with Connor and Taylor. One of them. But
it's a vibe.
Yeah, that's theirs. Personally, Dogma, I just think that's his most well thought out, best effect.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. Dogma came in and tried to mess up with the stream. So
yeah, for real. Alanis Morissette really came and did something about it. But no, and what's going on with the whole? I don't know if we want to go into the whole Kevin Smith, Brett Sheridan announcement, because
that just kind of sets it on a different line, and I think that's like a precedent that Christian is setting with some of these matches, and I think that's just something that we as fans and reactors and pundits of this game have to just kind of take note of, is that this game is changing. This game is constantly evolving, and there are parts of it that might not be for everyone. Like what we are going to talk about on our show Friday with my girlfriend, once we finally watch it, is the Bachelor-Bachelorette match. Mm-hmm. And that's like a whole new demographic. If you are able to somehow, if Christian is able to tie that into the overall Bachelor-Bachelorette universe, like somehow, if you're able to get Chris Harrison, the host of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, somehow somehow involved or retweet, that's 16 million viewers a week. That's unprecedented numbers. And, somehow for some way, the Skybound relationship with, The Walking Dead and everything hasn't exactly kind of, translated to overall numbers, in terms of like, expanding the game. But it takes stuff like this. It takes the Bachelorettes. It takes The Rock and Kevin Hart one day playing with John Roca doing the announcing for it because he worked so damn hard to get that match put together. For working 4 years, I feel like, he's been on every Rock front ever. But it's just the game. The game's evolving. And so Brett and Kevin, to bring it back, is an evolution of that. It's like, what if Kevin goes up against, realistically, if he faced, let's just call Ben Goddard. I think Ben Goddard would like crush Kevin Smith. Like that's real. Like, I'm talking like 2K ratings. That's how I look at my head. I look at my head sometimes like Madden and 2K ratings. Kevin Smith is like a 79 to an 81, which is like, dude, I will pick you up off free agency and you can maybe fill in for somebody if they're injured. Ben Goddard's like an 84, 85. He's kind of a competitor. I just don't. I got to see more, right? I kind of got to see more, and these show matches are gonna. It's not the best place to show it, but
see, that's why I was thinking Silverstream was the perfect matchup for Kevin.
That would have been fantastic.
I'm like, I sat here. I'm like, I really think Brett could like get the piss beat out of him in that match. Like the body match. You saw how that was probably one of the worst matches of this season from a match standpoint, but entertainment value because you're just sitting there laughing.
I enjoyed that, man. Straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one big SCN inside joke.
Yes.
Having Ben face Bonnie, or having what's his
Brett
nuts?
face Bonnie.
Brett face Bonnie.
Yeah.
But Bogz, what was your reaction to Smith facing freaking Brett Sheridan? Because I know I reacted to it differently, and I called like on the show last week. I said it's going to be Brett Sheridan. That's the only thing that makes sense. Christian had even mentioned in the Kevin Smith post interview, he's like, like he's going to treat him like
I think as well. He mentioned,
he's going to treat him like a regular competitor. He's not going to treat him like a celebrity. It's a celebrity's coming in. It's not the Power Rangers anymore. You're going to be a regular guy. You just happen to have a real slice in your own name. But how was your thought process, especially after the announcement?
Yeah, a bit mixed. I mean, because I was quite impressed with how Smith played against Jericho. You can argue, it wasn't the hardest questions you've ever seen, but I still nevertheless was quite impressed. Right. So I was initially disappointed, but what I'd done, I watched the rundown on the weekend, and what Frank was talking about was that I think this season there's been 22 rookies, across all divisions. In the singles division, there's something like 17 or 15, right? And from all 15 rookies to play in the singles division, he ranks Brett 15th. So technically, he can be the lowest ranked player in the Schmoedown. Technically, right? From a certain perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I was disappointed in. Of all the players in the league to play Kevin Smith, who I think is legit, against the lowest ranked competitor, that's a bit disappointing. But what I will say on the other side of that is Christian knows what he's doing, and whether it's a miss or not, I'm going to let it slide because how many kind of moves fixtures as and how many the way he does the brackets, things like that. Yeah, he's normally spot on with it. Yeah, it might be on paper a bit of a mismatch, but I'll let it slide because that's just because obviously we've got big title matches at Spectacular. So I think this is like an exhibition type thing. So that's all right for me. Not massively hyped up for that match, ain't gonna lie, but overall I'll let Christian off.
I mean, I'll say this: the Den needs whatever points they can get.
Yeah. The Den, if I remember this correctly, wasn't like the Den one of the more highly touted factions coming out of the draft?
Yeah, and they started off hot. They were battling the Finstock Exchange for that number one for a while. It just, as soon as we hit digital, it seemed like the wheels fell off.
As soon as Ben stopped playing, basically, they have not hardly got any points.
No, that's when Chris walks off because he and I were both like, we understood why Rachel was in the tournament. We understood why James Moran that was in the tournament for them.
James White,
thank you.
Yeah.
And it was James something. But Ben, if you're trying to win, Ben should have been the guy.
I heard it was his own decision. Like he's got a lot on in terms of helping out with SEN, Schmoedown, whatever. But for me, I mean, like if you're kind of struggling to juggle everything, I mean, look at all these all-time great players, Dan Morrill, whatever, Bibiani, Roca, they're juggling 100 shows a week, doing all kinds of stuff and playing Schmoedown and kicking butt, like what you're new player and you can't do it. Like it did, I don't know. Yeah, it's obviously his own decision, but that's cost his faction big time. So yeah, and it's cost his potential rookie of the year kind of award type thing. And
it 100% did. 100%.
Yeah.
In the words,
I want to see the guy play. I want to see him play. I want to see
Kenobi.
how good he is. But we can't now because he elects not to play, which is a bit frustrating.
Hey, Bogz and the great Obi-Wan Kenobi. Quick plug for the new Star Wars podcast. We got the high ground coming from Colin and Bogz to podcast feed near you.
Oh, I'm gonna need to hop on that.
To quote Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I see the squadron helmet. Yeah, I've clocked it.
You have
Have you played that yet?
yourself.
Have you played the game?
No, I haven't had the chance to get the game yet.
I need the game. I didn't know it was only $40.
It's only 40.
That was
Yeah.
$40.
See,
Alex Damon didn't sound too highly on it when he was on Action Guys, so it kind of rubbed me the wrong way about it.
He's so hard to please.
Good though.
I'll show you when we end show, but it's way more than just this stuff.
Yo, oh my god.
He's just as salty as I am about the High Republic being pushed back too. So like me and Al, like, I'm so salty. I'm so hyped about that.
We were supposed to get a book
Yeah.
yesterday. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, when I learned that, I was like, oh my god, I got a birthday present.
He's gonna make me like flex on my shirt. Like I'm like, oh, I'm so mad. Like,
I mean, shit. Funny story. Without Star Wars, he and I wouldn't have met because we met at the Chicago event. So,
fantastic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we both went to Celebration, then we ended up in line next to each other at the Chicago event. And it's like,
No way.
hey,
So, Chris, did you go as a Star Wars fan or did you go as a Schmoedown fan?
I went as both. Like I'm like above average casual Star Wars fan.
Right.
Like I mean, I'm not out here like y'all. I'll happily talk Star Wars, but I went for Schmoedown initially, and me and my homie Toby, we got into the convention on that Saturday. So we went to Saturday, it was great, whatever. But the Schmoedown, that's what we went for, and we went to Mark's comedy show the night before. So I mean, great weekend, but yeah, without Celebration, I mean, this doesn't exist. We're not having this conversation right now.
Yeah.
But the whole we'll go back to the Schmoedown for a second.
Yeah.
We turn into Saber Reels, our own little Star Wars podcast, for a second. Do we want to talk about Ethan and Tom? Because I mean, we kind of we chat a little bit, at least in regards to Snyder and Ethan.
Well, we want to talk about one thing, and everybody needs to understand, and I've been saying this for 3 weeks. Don't mess with Tom. If anything has been proven over the last 3-4 weeks of this tournament, Tom is no joke. Tom is playing mind games that we have not seen in this game in a long time. And I'm saying that the people on the other side are recognizing the commitment that he is putting into this. And that in itself is intimidating. I don't know if any of you are anime people, but there's like in the anime called Hunter x Hunter, there's something called your aura, your nen. It's invisible energy. Tom's invisible energy is so large, it consumes the entire room that he's in and can seep through your computer screens and come and find you wherever you are. And Ethan had to fight it off because it's a weird thing. He was like, teeth. He came in asking for the teeth and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, the baby teeth. I was like, oh my god.
And you're just hearing that. Like realistically, like you're just hearing that stuff. Like if you're Ethan, you're not really paying, but you're just like got that in your ears. Tom is on a roll. Like, and I think that's going to translate to the team tournament.
I'm hoping
sleeper pick.
I love Paul Preston, or as our buddy Nick calls him, Christian Harloff Flight. And
it's like Dane Cook. It's like Dane Cook, and then Christian Harloff, and then Paul Preston.
Yep,
they're all cut from the same human cloth.
Exactly.
One was like, "Yep, today these three. Yep, yeah, they're kind of alike, but same, but different."
But yeah, I'm with you there. They're my sleeper pick. Still got Founding Fathers winning the entire thing, so
it's hard not to pick Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
They're Duke. Right? It's Duke, and they've got five-star recruits and 3 seniors, and you're like, oh, this is over. Like Duke's
like half of them already been drafted. Like
exactly.
it's this whole thing.
secretly already have agents lined up and everything.
Oh, secretly? No, it's not a secret anymore. Honey.
They're
all
getting paid like,
now.
They're getting paid to play basketball in college, and they can't do that, but they can because it's Duke. But that's the founding fathers. But I mean, Tom and Paul, they have so much potential, and we haven't seen what that potential can be. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like Paul Preston's been going through a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to.
No, and I'm not saying that's what you're putting it on, but Tom and Paul, like, they had a rough loss early in the season, and they're coming back and they're representing the Den in the teams tournament. And Tom is by far, for my wrestling marks out there, the Michaels to freaking Paul Preston's Jannetty, 1,000%. Not saying that Paul Preston is Marty Jannetty, because Marty Jannetty's done some questionable stuff as of late, but Tom is by far the stud, and he's been one of the standouts in the tournament. And to further emphasize Colin's point, I'm a stan for character work.
Yes.
Holy God. Does Kate even know what to do with Tom? Like, I think she just lets him do whatever he wants.
It's like Tom Brady throwing you a football. You're like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and here's a Christmas card.
Yeah, what the hell? Tom's been an absolute stud in this whole tournament. I mean, it sucks that you have to go up against probably one of the GOATs, or when his run's done, one of the greatest of all time in Ethan Irwin. And 70s, as our boy Leo Logan in the chat mentioned, the 70s didn't do him any justice. Like, Tom knows his stuff by far. It's just those 70s questions. Depends on who you ask, because Ethan Irwin was all over them boys.
If Tom and Paul lose, Preston will be 0-3 this season. Yeah, he doesn't.
That sophomore slump. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, he came in hot with the movie guys. Came in hot.
That quarantine 15.
That too.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him at where they filmed Close Encounters of the Third Kind and how he was acting there, I'm like, oh no, I'm not confident going into this match anymore. For that singles tournament, I was like, singles tournament, like Preston's gonna do well. This, that, and the other. See that? No, thank you. He's not himself. This isn't good.
I believe at one point there was an opportunity for Tom and Paul to play one another, and to some people that was what was going on. They meet each other in the singles tournament, and bang, they fight to advance.
I got it here, so let me pull it up. Yeah, they could have played each other in this last match that Tom had, that Tom had if he had played well. And
as Matt takes the red pill over there, but what Tom's been doing so far is nuts, and he's going to be a killer going into the teams tournament. But it all depends on Paul Preston, and then going forward, like there's no way they're going to end up on the same faction. I'm calling it now. I'm sorry, they're not going to win the teams tournament, unfortunately, because they play. I want to say Final Exam to start the thing, which is no easy feat.
Have to go through my boy.
Thanks, Matt, in the background. Yeah, you got to go through Final Exam. Play the winner of Founding Fathers in the play-in match, which Founding Fathers, and then try to upset them. Like, that's going to be a toughie. That's going to be awfully hard for a team that Thomas carry on his back going into that. But to go back to the Ethan and Tom match for a second, Ethan Irwin, for anyone that had any doubt in Ethan Irwin, any doubt, Exhibit A, this whole tournament, he's been on fire. Loses to Dan in the title match. Okay, cool. Comes in the singles tournament and does his thing. And I don't know about you guys, but having Andrew Guy as his manager, it's like that just warmed my heart and got me excited for Lethal Weapons, even more so than I already was.
Yes, sir.
Damn right. That was the best thing about the match.
Yes.
Seeing Andrew turned on sharp, not this Schmoedown character. No, be the player that we know you are. Like, we saw that. I saw that in his management kind of style. Yeah, and like they didn't mention the Schmoedown once. He was just being that kind of interesting, kind of intense player where he's talking afterwards about the match that we left 70s on. That was Steve's Ethan Irwin's strength, which Tom obviously which Tom hit and obviously struggled with. That's a tactical decision. That's what Guy's about. We know he can do it. We know he's good enough, but I want to see it. Like, get the character second, player first. And I was glad I saw that. That was for me the best thing about that match. Having Guy back and being excited for the Lethal Weapons, because Guy brings that X factor, I think, in the tournament. So if he's on it, with Ethan at his side, they're going to be hard to beat. So I kind of like them on that side of the bracket. So, but yeah, I mean, I was good. I was happy for Guy because he can shake off that bad loss that he had.
Like, and it was rough. And Matt, to bring up something that we talked about on the show before, when we did our little breakdown for the teams tournament, Andrew was the biggest X factor, like what Bogz said. He was the big, like you don't know what to expect of Andrew. And prior to this Tom and Ethan match, I had no idea what kind of Andrew we were going to get. So when he showed up and he wasn't the debonair, but he was damn close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if this is the Andrew that we get with Ethan going into the teams tournament? Because let's be real, facing off against Marisol and Adam Collins first round is going to be rough. On paper, Deception's a kick-ass team, especially from what we saw in the tournament so far. And watching the Lethal Weapons, if we were going to get sweaty, freaking wet hair Andrew Guy, it's like, okay, then this is going to be this is not going to go well. But seeing what Andrew can do now with Ethan at his side, essentially managing him because Sam Levine was doing whatever he was doing, I'm amped. Like Andrew, Matt and I said it last week. He's the best, one of the best teams player ever. He's one of the best teams players ever. His success doesn't equate how good he is as a team's competitor.
I think he's the best player never to win a title.
Right now, yeah.
1,000%.
Why? Who are you saying? To never win a title. He's won. He beat.
He's won a team's title. He's won a team's title. That's winning a title.
Okay. What a tease. Okay.
Yeah. So like Andrew, 1,000%. And it's overdue. Him winning a team's belt or any type of belt is overdue. Like, my God, my man brings 110% every time he does anything Schmoedown. Even when he's getting his ass whooped, he's still in it. And regardless of what people have to say about the Bateman Guy match, like, holy shit. Like, yeah, Bateman was perfect, but guess what people were talking about the next day? Andrew fucking Guy. He was the talking point of the match the next day. The afterthought was Ben being perfect. That's crazy. Like, oh my God. And if Andrew's going to bring it with Ethan in this tournament, they might win the damn thing.
Yeah.
But like that's just me. Because I have him going to the final. If Andrew's bringing the heat.
If Andrew's bringing the heat, I have him going to the final. But you know what? But with how Roca has been playing, I can't even confidently say that the Founding Fathers should beat Lethal Weapon. I can't confidently say it.
Do it in studio. Do the team's final in studio.
Take the test.
Take the test. I want to see it. Do it on SCN so I can see it. But speaking of,
have them all like roll up. Let me see that nose, Rogan.
You're both nostrils at the same time. But speaking of teams, we have a big ass teams match on Friday that I guarantee y'all are going to go into on your show.
You're doing post game of it, right?
We do pregame, baby. Every single Friday we go live. If there's a match, we go live at 7 because it goes up at 8 Eastern. So then we'll be up at 7 this week. But if there's not a pay-per-view, we usually go up around 8. So we could try to hit around that wishing hour time.
Okay. And Saturday we're doing a post. We're not doing it live, but we are doing a post pay-per-view breakdown with no Chronic. So
nice. Cool. Word, that's gonna be hard. My man with the killer promo. Talk about promos. He's killer at putting the promo together.
I know, especially pay-per-views. He has the extra bit of spice. I think
the Guy Bateman one was absolutely probably my favorite one of the whole season.
Yeah,
well, he has literally like the most footage of anything to possibly work with, right?
Yeah.
And like the most drama, the most like
3-4 years of build up right now. It's ridiculous how much he had.
But this match this weekend, we have a pay-per-view. But first of all, we have an undercard that we just found out not too long ago. It's Gray Drake and Stacey Howard.
So pumped about this. If you are old Schmo's head, you are so hyped for this. And we got to go into this on Friday because it shows the difference in some Schmoedown fans. Our co-host, Mr. John Barr, was like, I don't really know what's going on here. And we're like, well, hold up, young buck. Let me sit you down right now and tell you a little story. And actually, it's one of this old team Rotten Tomatoes that used to come up
right.
in the studio and drop some knowledge bombs on these goofy schmoes. So don't think that, Gray Drake has played in literally every iteration of the Schmoedown. Literally every single different version of this game. So it's going to be interesting to see how she translates into the digital format. And I think Stacy's the perfect person to bring the most out of her in this as well, because Stacy will push her. They're equals in terms of like forces on screen. They just dominate personality. It's infectious, both of them, but in completely different ways. And I love it.
Yeah. No, I on Friday you even said Gray was the original female star, and I have to agree with you 110%.
Yes. Oh my God.
Before the Clark Wolves, before the Rachel Cushing, she was the Schmoedown's female star.
And Christian's wife, Mary Jetikin.
Yes. Julia Roberts.
It's not Christian's wife.
It's not
a very
Christian's
old
wife.
joke. It's a very old joke. It's a really very bad joke.
I was like, did Chris really just say yes, Julia Roberts? I'm like, no.
No. Like, it's real. And it almost got cringy, like on the old Schmo shows when fans would like legitimately think they were married and stuff. I'm like,
legitimately would think they were married. It's
like,
so
we need to cool it. But yes, Gray Drake is one of the OGs of the Schmoedown. We see her do some incredible stuff. Like, talk about personality. My God, like your boy when Chris Anthony Lopez was sitting in his room watching the old Schmo show, and Gray Drake would show up. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is where the party's at right here. When she show up at freaking Popcorn Talk. Doing the jam. That's what I'm talking about. And Stacy, having her face Stacy, depends on what Stacy we get. Stacy could be a fucking killer. Stacy can come into this thing and not give a single shit and rock and do the damn thing. Like I would be scared of playing Stacy Howard. If you told me like, Chris, you can play in the Schmoedown. Yes. Who am I playing? Stacy Howard. No. I'm gonna get rocked. She rocked Alice. She's gonna kill me next. Like, bro, like she's put on some incredible performances. I mean, recently, I think the last time we saw her was Zipper, right?
Yeah. Yep, when she had that crazy match with Zipper.
Talk about a killer match. So Stacy Howard, Gray Drake, this could be awfully one-sided. Like, that's just the harsh reality. Like, if Gray doesn't transfer over well to the new era of the Schmoedown, because Stacy Howard, she's been sitting on the sidelines talking about where's JTE. The question is, where's Stacy? Where's Stacy been this whole year? And
she's been on a boat. I don't know if you've seen. She's been posting pictures. She was on some boat somewhere, so she's been living that life. So you get it, girl. Get that life. Live it.
It's like she gonna kill it. But I know you guys can do pregame on Friday. But do we want to do predictions?
Feel free to stop by, guys. Feel free to stop.
So I'm going to stop by at the chat because I'm going to be at work. So.
Oh, I mean, we don't want to get nobody in trouble. We don't want to,
Well, that's what I was doing last Friday when I was
chatting. I mean, I'm only going to be calling football. I can chime in.
None of them watch the show. They just don't worry about it.
I'll do a prediction for you, Chris.
Hit me, please. Please.
But firstly, I think Stacy, if she's turned on, if she's on it, right, she's one of the most exciting players in the game.
Yes.
Like the things that she pulls, what she doesn't know, what she does know, who she's beaten. She's like an Andrew Guy, like a little bit of that same kind of caliber, that same type player.
The X Factor.
Yeah, she's got that little bit.
Change she had when she went. Yeah,
she comes in with attitude, like she's confident, she's cocky, like, and she whoops people. So yeah, I do love that about her, and I wish she played more, to be honest. But I'm definitely going for her in this match. I think Gray Drake's been out of it a little bit, although I do kind of. She's had good matches over the years and stuff, but I'm definitely going for Stacey Howard just because of the excitement she brings to it, and I want to see her play again. So ideally, she'll win that. So yeah, I'll hold off the teams one, or don't know if you guys want to give your opinions as well.
Well, I'm with you. I'm gonna go Stacey. Just the ring rust is a factor, and I think she's had so many big wins that are just out of nowhere that I can never bring myself to.
I want to see that again. Like, I want to see a random 5-pointer where she pulls off the mat. Like, yeah, that'll be awesome.
Exactly. So, I mean, for the teams when I'm so split because, like, I have a feeling Bibbs and Kid especially after both being knocked out of the tournament, are going to go in and be like, yeah, no, we have something to prove right now. We were right here knocking on the door of it last year, but now we got to close. We got to close it. So, I think with corruption being as off as they have been, like all this layoff in between these matches, I think I gotta lean with Shazam right here.
Okay.
I'm legally not allowed to give my answer.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm waiting for Chris.
Well, in to talk about the undercard for a second, I also have Stacy. Like our boy Leo Logan in the chat, I'm sensing some ring rust and like her not being able to adapt. It's almost as if you're pulling a basketball player from the 90s and dropping them into the NBA today. They're not going to know how to adapt. It's going to take them a second.
Whoa! I want to know how to adapt. Yes, yeah. It would take them a second. Okay.
Yeah, it will take them a second, and they might lose their first game, but over time, we'll see what happens. In Gray Drake's case, I think she's going to take this loss, but hopefully she can stick around and play some more. I don't know how this is going to pan out for the rest of the season.
She could be Steve Kerr. You could drop her in right now, and she could drop 45, and she'd be an MVP candidate. You'd be like, whoa!
I don't know when the hell Steve Kerr's dropping 45.
In this league with no hand checking?
Right, I was about to say, Steve Kerr would just be Steph Curry.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like
no.
Bull Steve. I'm like, wait a second, that man ain't dropping 45.
No,
I'm talking like him playing in the 90s, not him playing now. Him playing now, by all means.
Right. I'm taking 94 Steve Kerr. I'm putting him on the 2017 Warriors, and that dude is liable for 35 a night.
Steve Kerr was born in the wrong era. That's all I got.
Pick and roll. Oh my God. He was just run. Oh my God.
Oh God, I love Steve Kerr.
Oh my God, I love Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
oh my God,
but Jordan ain't the GOAT, so it's not Kerr.
Okay, we need to cool it. But I
know Steve Kerr. I don't get these basketball references, but I know Steve Kerr off The Last Dance. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. He sunk it. Yeah, I know that guy.
He's a killer. Steve Kerr's a killer.
To be honest, I only found out about a month ago that he's the coach of
the Warriors.
You're going to say Warriors? Yeah, I didn't even know. So I only found out about a month ago.
You're good. All you have to know is that he's good.
I was literally getting on a plane in Oakland, coming back home for a little while, and I was watching his press conference, and then my girlfriend and I were flying out to South Carolina because we lived in Oakland for 4 years, and I literally used the bathroom right next to him in the airport, and it was like the dopest thing ever. I was like, Coach,
is that on your resume? It should be. It's
like you're like stood at the urinal 3 down from Steve Kerr. Put it in at the very bottom of achievements. Like literally,
and you said, "Nice shot, bro." You sinking that piss right now? I bet you are. Damn right.
Don't tell me
you never lose it, Steve. You never lose it.
No, listen, I'm a diehard Steph Curry fan from the Davidson days. So I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah. So he would come down here at Davidson and he would rock the Citadel in College of Charleston. And I looked at my dad and I was like, that guy's awesome. And we lost the Bobcats when they went down to New Orleans. I didn't have a team, so I picked them up like in 2009, 2010. The year they lost to the Clippers. And then the next season, they advanced and looked up into the Spurs. I was all up in the Steph Curry-ness. I was like, I'm just here for Steph Curry. That's my boy.
Okay. You're out here cooking with the chef.
Were you rooting for LA? Were you rooting for LA on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. No, I'm just.
You're a homer. So you're a homer.
Well, I was just about to say, as long as it's stuff like if it's Steph, you're rooting for him to succeed. I can rock with it.
And Klay Thompson is quite literally, if I made a character in 2K, he looks exactly like Klay Thompson. And
my 2K character would be a combination of Klay Thompson and LeBron James. So I understand completely.
But Bogz,
you guys need your own sports show. I'll tell you.
Sorry, Bogz.
Especially, wait, Chris, do you call college football?
No.
I call it high school football.
Oh, okay. Because
out in rural Oklahoma, the closest is freaking Oklahoma State University. But okay. I'm not doing that.
Chuba, my boy Chuba, my boy.
So the tag match, I'll give my 2 cents on it since Colin's legally obligated to not talk about it. And Bogz, you don't have to give your 2 cents. You don't
I'll
have
represent.
to.
I'll represent. I'll do it. You know what I'm doing, Colin. You know damn well what I'm
Bogz,
doing.
it's
But
fine,
sorry,
man. I wasn't here
go ahead,
for
Chris.
propaganda, man. If you're
No.
just
I'm doing it
propaganda, we can
straight. I'm
propaganda
straight
this
up.
bitch.
I'm straight
All
up.
right, cool.
Okay. So you go first, Chris. Go on.
I'm no stranger to hyping up corruption on this channel. I would even say I'm corrupt myself, just because I love this faction so much. Coming from the bottom, damn near to the top, at the top at some points, especially in August. But I love this team so much. Kalinowski and Chance. I think the time off has given them more of a chance to really just show the league that they aren't just. It's not a fluke that they beat the Founding Fathers. And if it's going to be up against any team, it's going to be Shazam. But that being said, Shazam's on a fucking tear ever since the singles tournament started. Mm-hmm. And I am terrified. Like, Matt, if the two of us were a team and they're like, hey, spin from the real guys. You guys want to be in a teams match? Yes! Oh my God, yes. Who are our opponents? You guys are facing Shazam. No! Absolutely not. I'd start crying.
Rick went in a heartbeat.
I am crying, and I'd be pissing myself the second I hear that. I think this match is going to be closer than people think. It's not going to be a stomp like Shazam and Who's the Boss. I find that hard to believe with this corruption team, especially with the time off, with the added motivation. Chance Ellison, my man, was crying in his post-game, in his post-match interview with Liz Shannon Miller about how passionate he is in the damn Schmoedown. Mm-hmm. So, like, if that doesn't prove anything, I don't know what the hell else will. Mike Kalinowski is one of the best characters and one of the best players that Schmoedown has ever seen. If Mount Rushmore had 7 faces or 8 faces, his face would be on there. Because it's his work as a competitor, as a player, transcends the table.
I agree.
I know Christian put the corruption thing on him, but my God, Christian, it's like Vince McMahon giving Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mike was the sheep and Christian was the shepherd. Let's all make something extremely clear in that situation.
Okay.
Mike was like the best megaphone.
He's an actor by trade.
But that's what I'm saying. But Christian appointed Mike as the torchbearer for corruption, and he transcended the table. Who gave a shit what the fuck he was doing at the table? The character alone. Corruption's one of the best things, the tournament and the faction, to happen in the Schmoedown in the last few years. The faction's been giving us some incredible play this year. Matt, don't look at me like that. And this tournament, the tournament changed the league forever. So I can't knock Mike.
It did. It gave us some teams that are still hanging around today. It gave us the Odd Couple and
gave us the Founding Fathers.
And the Founding Fathers. Who's the boss? Even though they ended poorly, but who's the boss, man? Like, what the hell? Like,
they can't put Kalinowski anywhere near Rushmore. That's what my face is about. I'm just
and I understand what you're saying there, and that's when I talk about Rushmore players, Mike is in those conversations on the back end, but for me, Rushmore is like 4 or 5 guys, right? Like 4 or 5, because Barack Obama's face will eventually probably be above Mount Rushmore. So that's a 5. We'll eventually add a 5. And then they'll be like, oh my God, we have 5 people now. It's great. And then the lists get bigger, right? Like all the NBA groups I'm in where it's like the top 4 Rushmores, and then people are like, well, what about this? Well, now we can add an extra. Mike's the conversation for the extra because he has room to grow, right? We don't see any, like, Mike is nowhere near the place Mark Reily is in his career, where Mark Reily is clearly on the downslope of his career. Mike has kind of been in this kind of plateau for the last 9 months, where he's been the same consistent competitor. He's brought the same consistency to his game. He's elevated Chance as a teammate, which is very hard to do when you are the less superior overall player.
The genetic.
He's being weighed to LeBron in Miami right now.
Yes, 100%. Yes. LeBron, yes, Chance being LeBron in this situation, because Chance has a higher ceiling that Mike maybe might be like, just maybe a point here or a point there better in terms of like the mental stuff, but the overall knowledge, his awareness for the game, Chance is out of this world and just needs to kind of be pushed sometimes, like the times where he's even done this in this season where he answers too quickly. He doesn't take enough time. He gets in his head, and even that Shannon has to, every single match, it feels like she plays with him, has to say, please slow down. Please slow down. So I hope she doesn't have to do that this week, because I hope that they've had enough time since both of them have taken their L's in the singles tournament to kind of regroup and focus. And if I'm somebody that's going up against, we got a lot of this is a very interesting thing, and I'd love to pull my boy Frankie Numbers. I would love this stat. Have we ever had a championship match where all 4 players are coming in after a loss? All 4 of these players are coming in after a singles loss. Chance is coming in after a singles loss. Mike is coming in after a singles loss. So because Colin was about to say some shit, and then Colin backed right out of that, because I was going to say, well, the Shazam guys are both coming off losses. Well, actually, Colin, both of the corruption guys are coming off losses. So they kind of neutralize each other out there. So there are chips on shoulders. So I use that all the time. Chips on shoulders. We got chips on shoulders here. We got if you're going to take LeBron, we got respect that needs to be put on some people's names, and we got all 4 of these people think that they have been disrespected in some way this season, whereas Shazam is obviously not as audible about it. They're more of the happy-go-lucky kind of types, because that is the Quirky Barks way. That's how Koi plays. That's their style. They're positive. But I think these corruption guys, you don't want to mess with them, and specifically Chance. If he does not scare the ever-living hell out of you as a competitor. Bogz, that's our boy. High five through the screen for our boy. High five through the screen.
Yes. Oh,
bam.
I missed.
Yes. I missed too.
I'm going straight up Cobra Kai.
No mercy.
Yeah,
great show. Still trying to get Chris to watch it.
One of these days.
Cobra. Oh man.
I know. I'm the one person.
Where were you like 2 years ago? What did you do when all the guests came on Collider Live? Were you just like, "No, not today. No, I'm done."
To be fair,
I think it was on YouTube Premium.
I probably finished it about a month
YouTube
ago.
Red, sir.
Right?
You better watch your mouth.
Oh no,
I'm
it
the newest.
was YouTube Red. Then the second season was
I know.
Go ahead.
I watched it about a month. I finished it about a month ago, so I was late to it as well. But I watched it. I watched it all within 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
2 series. All right, the episodes aren't long, but 20, 25 minutes. It is fire. It's emotional. It's nostalgic. It's funny. If you like Star Wars, you're gonna love Cobra Kai.
You know what?
Master and Apprentice, sense, the action,
like the
choreography,
Rebel.
the music. It's fire. It's so fire. The whole thing.
Well, you want to know something funny? I went over to my buddy Brian's house one night, because I don't get a lot of nights where I can stay up late with my work schedule and school schedule and everything. So I went over there one night. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know what to watch. I sit there. I'm like, give me the remote. This is like right when Cobra Kai hit Netflix. So I turned on. I'm like, you like Karate Kid? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we're watching this. I ended up. This is around 11 o'clock at night. We made a Taco Bell run and came back.
That dude didn't go to sleep. No way that dude went to sleep.
He's like, I left that after episode 8 of season 1. I talked to him the next morning. I'm like, what episode you on? Episode 4.
Bro, I'm done.
No, he's like episode 4 of season 2.
Yeah, it's fine, man. It's one of the best shows I've seen in a while. So yeah, I loved it. And you can binge it on a week probably. So it's sick.
Binge it in a day, really.
You can binge that dog in a day, dog. Like
the second we're done here, I'm gonna make this promise to the 3 of you. The second we're done here, I will review.
I want to review.
I want to review on my
week.
TV. Next week, I can do that next week. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'll watch Cobra Kai.
We can make it happen by Sunday if you check out Real Talk.
Wait a second. That puts the pressure on me. Give me some time.
Otherwise, that next week, Wednesday.
It's already weighing me down. Like, but no, I will watch. I will start watching Cobra Kai. So Matt's been trying to get me to watch it. But then again, Matt Thomas has given me like 50 shows to watch, and I'm just getting them through it now. I just got done with The Boys. I watched Doom Patrol like a motherfucker.
Woo! Hey! Word from every person who's watched The Boys. Fuck Nazis.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And it's real life. It's real life too.
In real life and fake life.
To be fair, I do give him I tell him something new to watch almost every day. I'm the worst about that because I have more free time to just watch stuff because I'm like an owl. So 1 to 4 a.m. is just prime watch stuff time. It's like here, Colin. People. I get press screeners and whatnot. So
okay, that's fine too. Did you watch Raised by Wolves?
I haven't. That's one of the shows.
All right, you want to talk about some stuff you gotta watch, my dude, bro?
I'm too busy dissecting every little thing about Lovecraft Country right now.
Oh my God, that's my next watch. That's my next because Raised by Wolves is what I was watching instead of watching Lovecraft Country.
I mean, you've watched Raised by Wolves. I've watched Lovecraft Country. We just got to switch, and then we'll compare.
I've heard they're both so gender not gender, genre bending. They're so like Lovecraft is so good about it.
The show was gender bending.
I'm so with it either way.
I'm so in.
I'm in either way because I mean this show Raised by Wolves is Ridley Scott's kid doing. Like, hey, my daddy let me do my thing, and boy, his thing is a thing, and I'm. I
mean, he directed that 10-minute short before leading into Alien.
Yes, the one leading into Prometheus, right? The second one,
the second,
Alien
Covenant.
Which that short was great. I was like, oh my God, this is the movie we're getting, and then I got Covenant, and I'm like, oh. Okay.
And now, a couple of the actually two of the leads in Raised by Wolves. One of them is being looked at as a possible Mrs. Fantastic, Invisible Woman. You know, that's those type of performances, like those unknowns that Marvel pulls out of that one thing that 300,000 people.
We're gonna have to bring you on Real Talk one day.
What's up, guys? I'm available. Sit here in the studio and I talk about things.
Well, that's what we do on Real Talk, realistically.
With that being said, I have Shazam pulling out the win this Friday. I hate saying that because I want Mike and Chance to pick this up. But if I'm comparing player to player, like, okay, best player on Shazam, pick one, pick your poison. Best player on Corruption, it's Chance Ellison, right? Yeah. So let's hypothetically put Chance against Bibbs and Meyer against Kalinowski. We all know how that pans out. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as that sounds, I want to be wrong in this case, but I'm picking Shazam. And it's goddamn. Like I want to be wrong. I hope Corruption pulls his win out, so they go into Spectacular as champs and they play whoever the hell comes out of the tournament. But as of right now, I'm picking Shazam. But if you ask me again tomorrow, my answer probably would be different.
Do they get a rubber match?
No, they don't. I don't think not before Spectacular. I don't think. Well, let me just say. So, although I do understand what you're saying, Chris, right? And it is kind of last chance saloon for Shazam for this season, anyway. But yes, on paper, I understand what you're saying, but we've got 5 rounds, right? Shazam are not experienced in the 4th round, in the betting round. In the speed round. They haven't played that. Obviously, Chance and Mike have done it, twice now?
Yeah, because they had their match against each other.
Welcome to Fast Money, folks. I'm Steve.
You don't know how it's going to go with them. I just think that like you're saying, just Chance with the emotion, Chance how much he wants it, and we know Chance is coming in. He's going to play 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Yeah, and Mike, it's up to Mike really. Well, I mean,
yes,
not up to Mike, but how is he coming in 5, 6 out of 10, or is he coming in like he did against Founding Fathers, 8 or 9 out of 10? If I was them, I would absolutely stack comic book movies and Inner Geekdom slices on the wheel.
Oh hell yeah!
For digital, didn't they just slap it as there's an Inner Geekdom slice now and it comes with movie slice and that's it?
I do believe if they are the champions, I do believe there's championship stipulations that they can mess around with some of that, because I do believe Kalinowski has worked Bond onto a category onto a wheel more recently. Yeah. I don't know if that's in season 7, so that could be some. I think Bond kind of just fills. It's got so many films that I'm fine with that being one. I'm just talking about like they can't put MCU with DCEU. That's what I'm referring to.
Not yet.
Yeah, next season I think they're gonna be allowed to do that.
Give me it.
Yeah, overall I just want to say I'm going Corruption straight up. Like
I don't blame you.
Chance, I just love the guy straight up. I don't know why. He's a fire player.
That's the homie, man.
He's a wicked guy. We know how much he wants it, right? Hopefully he goes perfect in round 1. He's Mr. Perfect in round 1 and he can carry them through. Yeah, he needs obviously Mike to come along with him, but they're all coming off losses. But I think Shannon will be there to, she's not coming off losses, she's coming off wins with Colin. So hopefully she can bring that confidence with these guys. Yeah, and they haven't played in a while. It's the truth, because obviously the Corruption against Founding Fathers match was live, but the Perry against Kalinowski match.
Pre-recorded.
Even though it aired after that match. Yeah, it was pre-recorded before the Fighting Father match. So Mike hasn't played in months.
You are absolutely right, because I know when we had Winston on for that miracle last 30 minutes, the shirt he was wearing was from the upset over Chance.
Okay.
And think about that. That just aired like 2-3 weeks ago, and we had him on like towards the end of July, beginning of August.
Okay.
So
they've had these things backed up for a while now.
They've been in the can for a minute.
Exactly. Like the team's tournament could be done by now. We have no idea. But I mean, I agree with everything you're saying.
They're definitely filming.
That thing's done. You'll be able to tell by wherever the hell John Roca is. Be the kicker. Wherever John Roca's backdrop is wherever you'll be able to tell how long ago these matches were.
That's actually a great point.
Yes.
Sometimes I gotta put on the pundit hat. I gotta put on like the Sherlock Holmes detective hat. You know, I gotta switch it up a little bit.
I agree with everything you're saying, Bogz. Like 1,000%. Chance Ellison is the man. To me, like if he wins this match, shit, I think he's player of the year.
Like pound for pound, the best player on the planet.
He's already got it. It should be the movie Trivia Schmoedown, sponsored by Chance Ellison. His face next.
Because like he's that good. He brings it in every division.
He's the logo.
Bro, he went
he's
perfect
our Jerry West
against the Fighting Father.
Logo.
Perfect. He did go more than a couple of times, but and you say that people are taking shots at Mike. Yes, he isn't a good singles player as Chance, and does he belong on Mount Rushmore, etc. But he went to the Inner Geekdom final this year, and he's won the team's belt. Like, and he's a 4-time champion. Like, what more do you want from the guy? Like blood? Like, what?
Yeah,
like the guy's fire.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
like,
of course, his singles record isn't the best, but people like have, for example, Rachel Cushing guaranteed, on Rushmore. She's won 3 championships in the same divisions that Mike has. He's won 4. So for me, he's right up there. And yeah, but I never doubt the guy. What he's brought to the game, season in, season out, character, stats, personality, belts. I don't doubt him. And yeah, he made a mistake with entering the singles team in the singles tournament in the first place. But no one's perfect. So we let that one slide. But he has got to step up, because we know obviously Shazam are coming, and I think it's their last chance to loon in terms of team situation. They had a miss earlier or end of last year, and they're desperate for it. But I'm going Corruption. I'm going my boy Chance. Until he lets me down, I'm sticking with him.
Damn, Matt, did you already give us your prediction? Because
I
Colin,
started
he's
it
bound by it. You say Shazam?
Yeah, I said Shazam. I started off with Shazam.
David, you're not even going to say why? Like, Bogz out here giving passionate speeches at the why.
I said because of how the kid and Bibbs have been playing, and the fact that they probably don't have as much rust on them as Corruption.
Yeah,
oh man, I'm really hoping for the best. I really that match is gonna be killer. It's gonna
it can't not be a good match. Yeah, I agree. Can't not be a good match.
I'm so excited to see it. But well, we have the two of you guys on, and Matt and I, this is our first time really getting to chat with other people in the Schmoedown reaction after show space. So we're curious into like how the hell did you guys meet each other? Why did you guys start a show? I want to know the whole story. I want all of it. I want the front page of the bio. That's what I want.
So you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I'll go first. Go
ahead.
If you want. Yeah. So basically, so the Ultimate Schmoedown Show is an Outlaw Nation show. So basically it was Roca. Roca he in effect put a casting call out to say, I want to do a fan reaction show based of the Outlaw Nation. And in effect, we had to audition for it, basically. Yeah, we had to literally audition. So we applied for it, and his kind of one of the producers of the show, Mike, he's not here today, kind of contacted us back, and we had to do an audition tape and stuff. I think Colin by then was already a part of the show as like a producer, engineer.
I still had to. Well, so. Okay. Yeah, but Bogz, so I was kind of looked at as like technical producer side because, like I said before, I just graduated my degree in film media, so editing and hosting and all that stuff is like right in my wheelhouse. I do that. Like my day job when the world isn't in a pandemic is I work for the College of Charleston in their sports department, and I run the the video board during basketball games. I'm part of the crew that broadcasts and streams games that sets up before and after every sporting event for them. So like all of this stuff is right up in my wheelhouse. And so that was something that, like, you know, I was still busy at the time with all of that when the production of the show was first getting started, and then the world shut down, and then everything, you know, kind of fit into place for me to be one of the hosts of the show as well. But yeah, like Bogz said, we had to cut a promo vid. I had to, you know, explain why I love the Schmoedown and where I got started in it. And it was just kind of awesome because I wasn't expecting to meet or, you know Bogz, but Bogz is now like one of my homies. Like Bogz and I talk about like random stuff like all the time. Like we're starting a Star Wars podcast. Like we just cut our first, like, you know, episode 0 the other day, which we haven't even put out yet because we're still just trying to figure out the kinks. But we're just trying to figure out how we can keep doing more together because it's so random. We're kind of like an arranged marriage. And how rare is it? And Bogz, how rare is it that, like, you and me, man, we're like, if we made a movie, like, who would have put us two together? Nobody would have put us two together. But then we could also do a damn soccer/football show for an hour 45.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. But yeah,
you gotta come up with a name for that one. I'm out of names, man. I'm out of names.
Yeah. How is that, by the way? We have the high ground as a Star Wars show. That's fire. I'm sorry, that's fire.
The fact that hasn't already existed.
Colin came up with that. I didn't have anything to do with that. But
I'm gonna take we come up with all the names, but like because we use the name Real, it's like we're just gonna throw Real in the title.
Perfect.
That's clever. It's clever. But yeah, let me just finish off the about how the show came about.
Please,
we've obviously Roka, you know, obviously we've had to audition, and then when we've all got you know, he's kind of announced the host, put us all together. You know how surreal it was for me, just literally 1 week just watching the Schmoedown, and then next week speaking to Roka. I was like, what? This is so surreal. Like, I'd
in a Facebook group, like we're in a like he's kind of like
watching matches with Roka, like together.
I'm a little bit jealous of that.
Yeah, like watching the Star Wars tournament with Roka, and we were like, "What the hell is this? This is crazy!" And like that's what I mean. Like, so Roka's personally, right? He's told us 2 things that he wants from the show, right? For me, anyway. Like, so he wanted, number 1, a fair, objective reaction show, because he's been on shows. You know, he's seen other reaction shows where sometimes people kind of how do you say, like, go after certain factions or favor certain factions, or sometimes go after him quite a lot, and he didn't want us to do that. No hot takes, you know, no kind of, be objective, be fair. You know, if you want to criticize people, even him or the FinStock Exchange.
Sports Center, not first take.
Exactly.
This is not like Stephen A. Smith. This is not like, you know, like,
be respectful.
This is
No. So that was rule number 1, right? Rule number 2 was that he wanted to make it an international show with minorities and people of color, which, like, I was so happy that he selected me to be a part of that. And, you know, on that first point, I identified the same principles in your guys' show. So I think Matt posted a link in the Facebook group and about this, and I thought, oh, let's just give it a try. Whatever, I clicked it, and I saw, we've got 2 brothers on, and I was thinking, so for me, obviously watching it, I'm thinking, you guys are the only kind of brothers that are doing a show like that are, you know, like brown. Like, how many other after shows I've watched over the years, right? The reaction shows that are, you know, they're all white or have 4 white kind of hosts on. I've seen that for too many years. I don't personally want to see them kind of shows anymore. I want to see you guys. I want to give you guys a platform, you know, and you guys, I want to hear what you guys got to say. And not only that, you guys are analytical, you're intelligent, you're respectful of the show. So for me, I want to watch that type of show. Like, I think that your guys' show, our show, and the Rundown are the best show after shows, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to watch. So that's why I was kind of that's why I basically reached out to you guys, because I see the same tendencies that Roka set out that he wants. You guys were already doing it, so I kind of, and that's the kind of show that I want to be a part of, and I kind of relate to and understand. So yeah, I'm a big fan of you guys and what you guys do. So yeah, because there's no one else really kind of. I mean, obviously you got Demalante, you got, you know, a few of the shows that have minorities and stuff, but you guys definitely need a platform, and I wish you guys were a bigger channel, because yeah, you guys need to be represented more. And yeah, I
appreciate that, because that's when you first reached out, and I'm like, wait, the ultimate I'm like, that's in the Outlaw I've watched before we started getting contact. I watched here and there. It's because of work and school. It's hard to like watch consistently because with all the movies and TV I consume, I get Schmoedown and SEN and occasionally the Roca podcast. I'm like, but now I've tried to make you guys, because I see what you were just talking about. It's people who are analytical. I've never been a fan of like the call to actions, this, that, and the other, because they do get hard on people sometimes. And I know the first real guest we had was Winston, and part of the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to have that person of color get represented first. So
I love him so much. I his vibe, and that's like a word was on my mind when you started talking about those other shows, and I'm not one to put other people's names in. So I know, and honestly, there's things that go on like between like the inner shows, whatever, like warfare. Like I'm just like whatever, y'all. There you go feed on that. But shows like y'all, shows like us, it's a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe that has like would not have existed if those other shows hadn't come before us.
Yeah,
there are shows. So right, so it's kind of like we were in a perfect storm to have been. And I don't know, like we can get into like how we found the Schmoedown as well. Like
that was actually the next place we were going.
Right, look at me, transition king. All right,
King transition,
right here. So
I just want to as well. Sorry, one last point on that.
Go Bogz, go Bogz.
It's like a therapy session or something. But no, it's I just want to give a shout out to Roca as well, because if you notice that if you guys watch his live stream or his other shows or anything like that, I know you guys are big fans of him in general, but any show that he does will include minorities on it, whether it's the host on it, the on-screen talent, whether it's people off screen, maybe you guys don't know, the producers, the mods, they're always inclusive, and he wants to give people who haven't had opportunities before these opportunities. And everything, kind of all the guidance he's given us, all the kind of discussions we've had with him, he's not asked me for anything. Like, it's not cost me a single penny to do any of this. So that's just kind of I just want to respect to him, because we're a reflection of the Outdoor Nation, of him really. So it's all kind of come from him. He's picked the music, he's got the titles for us, he speaks to Skybound for us, he's helped us with guests, he's given us guidance, gave us kind of reviews. We know Christians watch the show as well, so all from him. So and like I said, he's not cost me anything. He's out of all his own kind of goodwill, basically. So shout out to him. And that's what I said about the other shows. That was no kind of dig at anyone else or anything like that. It's just that's in my opinion.
I didn't mind to come across as a dig. It was just it's nice to get, like, I watched it, like you said, rundown. It's nice to just get the analytical. We're not gonna go deep cut deep into someone. Like, the only thing I think the worst person I've probably been on is Rachel Silvestrini, and I just say she's streaky and inconsistent. That's probably I can't say anything else.
That's fair.
Before Colin, let me give it back to you, because I know you had something to say. But
please. I have too many things to say. It's fine.
Well, you were a king segue. Now it was a great segue to our next question. But before we do that, that was really kind of the both of you guys, because we're two fans, and we like we mentioned earlier, we met at a pay-per-view, at a live show, and it took Matt and I a year after meeting each other to get the show off the ground. And I mean, one of the good things come out of the pandemic, Spin from the Real. But
hell, this whole network now is birthed out of the pandemic.
That too. But thank you guys. Not only I know we're not wrapping up right now, but thank you guys not only for coming on, but for just being kind. Because you guys are, to me, it's a big deal. Like, when Matt told me, like, yo, like, they want to be on the show and they want to be a part of Reely Trivia. What the hell? Like, yeah, please, yeah, because it's crazy to me. And Bogz, I cannot emphasize your point any more than you already did. Like, I don't see too many people that look like us around here in this space. And that's why it was great having Winston on the show, getting his 2 cents, seeing what, like, Jay Washington was a big advocate for that early in the Schmoedown before Winston even got around. Like, Jay was like, seeing Jay was like, yo, and I had the pleasure to meet him at a convention one time and tell him this kind of stuff. Because that's how serious it is. And as a Latino, like John Roca, like, that's another reason to just to be like, yo, Matt and I, we do the show. We're two people of color that just love talking the Schmoedown. We do it every single week, and it's a blast. And I cannot thank you guys enough for coming on and all those kind words. You guys are the best. But Colin, you had something to say about
Perfect
getting into
segue.
You need to, Chris. You need to get Chance on. You know, Chance is half Latino, right?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so. I think I might
Yeah,
have known
you
that.
never see his eyes. Like, sorry, like
It's all in the eyes. That's
all,
it's all in the eye.
no, like you can never tell. Dudes with glasses on, it could be anything. Like
Glasses
Ben
and a
Gimmick can
hat.
take the glasses off.
If how many glasses I got on me right now, you just
Whoa,
Yeah,
hold up. Let's go.
I know we got a resident Scott Summers over there.
Marston?
No, was it the
Oh
Star
my
Trek
God.
ones, or was it?
No, these
Scott
these are the Cyclops ones from.
Oh, okay.
Nailed it. I
But,
keep kicking Boggs' ass in trivia.
Oh yeah.
Please
Don't start
continue.
that. Yeah, we've been studying, and I need to study more. Colin's
Oh,
been
I've
helping me
been
straight up.
studying. Trust me, I ain't.
Yeah, get.
Boggs
I'm right there with
awoke a
y'all.
beast that had not been awoken in a very long time
No.
on Monday inside of me.
Colin
Oh.
just whooped me every time. Yeah, so
we'll
I need
talk
to
about
fix
that in a
up.
little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
But,
we want to get to that.
But how did you guys get into watching the Schmoedown? I know you guys said to talk to John or to get into the position with the Ultimate Schmoedown Show, you had to get into watching the Schmoedown first off. So what was that like for you guys? Like, how did you guys find the channel? Like all that fun stuff. I want to know.
Yeah, Colin, we'll go with you first since Boggs went first last time.
So for me, it dates back to like, my God. I mean, I want to say like late 2013, early 2014. And I was watching Collider. And before that, even AMC. It was AMC Movie Talk.
Yeah.
And occasionally, and I was in the back half of what they call the closet days, which if you know an AMC theater, it's not an actual closet. It's where they would have birthday parties. It's like, if you've ever been in a movie theater, that's like where AMC would like let them do this. They call it the closet, but it was about the size of like a bedroom. And from that, and then here comes this guy, Christian Harloff. Once they start getting the studio gigs and stuff, Christian Harloff starts coming on. And then Mark Ellis comes on, and I'm like, man, these guys just kind of sound like they're just some dudes that watch movies. I'm a dude that watches movies, and I watch more TV and more movies than a lot of the people my age. Like I was a summer movie kid. My birthday's in the late June, so like I was always going to the movies for my birthday. It was always a big thing for me. Like life was kind of centered around movies. So I just had like this good background knowledge of stuff, and then I find the schmoes, and once you get into that, you find out. I think I started getting into the Schmoedown. It would probably be the back half of season 1, season 2. And then I was able to go back and cover everything. I saw Blue Fairy live.
Yeah.
I saw Blue Fairy live. That shows how old I am, folks.
Wasn't it nuts?
Oh my God. You're so
It was crazy.
How old are you now? Because I'm curious.
I'm 26.
Okay. I just turned 26 yesterday. So hey.
What's up? 94. What's up? Great year. Great year.
It was.
Grab those bottles of wine. They're in season. But yeah,
Boggs.
that was me.
Right.
That was me. No, yeah.
Boggs, how'd you start watching Schmoedown?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't actually remember to be perfectly honest, but I've got like a made up story that I could say. So it was something to do with Star Wars. So I think I was looking for like a breakdown of the Force Awakens.
You told me it was Jedi Council. You've told me
that I mean,
Jedi Council.
that's what I'm getting to. It was something like I was watching. I wanted to see. I was finding online reviews of the Force Awakens, and I must have stumbled across the Jedi Council episode. And then I was kind of
the Force Bros episode.
Maybe not that one. I think the specific one. It was with Campia and Ken and Harloff, and then they were discussing the Force Awakens, what they like, what they don't like, etc. And I must have seen a thumbnail with like a Star Wars trivia match. I thought, okay, cool, what's this? Yep. I think it was the Force Brothers against, I think, Campia and Ken. Yeah,
that's the one.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. And I was like, obviously, that's Kanan and Maul playing with each other. That's super weird. And then I remember watching Jedi Council weekly, and I remember seeing Roker on it, and I thought he was the coolest character on it. I thought this Latino guy. I thought. Like I was more interested in him and what he has to say than anyone else. And I was like, just by coincidence, I thought, okay, so I kept watching this guy. And again, I must have seen a thumbnail of him and some other guy. And then I watched the match and I seen he come out and he was so eccentric and he was a magnetic personality and he was so interested in, and basically it was a Scott Mance match when the best man question. And I thought it was fake. I thought obviously this is fake, right? He obviously knows the best man question. Why would he not know that? And I found out obviously it's real. And I must have just backwatched the whole Schmoedown from there. Like I don't know in how long, but it was from that period. It basically I got through Jedi Council and things like that, and then obviously discovered they do teams, etc. So I don't remember what season it was exactly. I want to say like season 3, maybe season 4.
Season 3.
Yeah, something like that. But that was my way in through Jedi Council.
Your story and mine are almost identical because for me, I found Jedi Council.
I will be right back, guys.
Okay, no doubt about it.
But yeah, for me, it was I found Jedi Council. I saw the Force Bros match. I paid attention here and there, and then for me, the match that got me hooked was the Roka Merle Championship match.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
That's a great one too.
Yeah, of course.
So like I became.
It was the passion, from Roka afterwards. Exactly. It was the passion. It was like that's what I want to see. Because I was watching because you think of the champions, then it's like Murrell, it's like Reely, it's Levine, it's they're all nice and they're great players, but you didn't see that magnetic energy, that passion is. I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. That's the one I want to see. That's the wrestler. That's the boxing personality. He had it. He knew it all. Yeah.
I know
exactly. And he's slapping the belt, running up to the camera like this. Like, I'm in. I'm in from there. Yeah. So that was. Great. I completely agree.
I know how we got in contact initially was you were commenting on the Reely Trivia Schmoedown matches. Mm-hmm. Did you see my match against the championship match against this fellow right
against here? Chris? Yeah, I saw that match. Yeah,
Roka was like kind of the inspiration for that intro because at our first match, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this whole thing with the and then I remembered Roka and I went back and watched Roka film. So like, as we developed the character, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do my homage to Roka because this is the guy that got me into it. This is that personality, the original Roka, the outlaw himself. That's what got me into it, and that's why I'm like, this is my homage to him. That's why it's the Master, and just rolls off the tongue, Matt the Master Thomas. But I mean, Roka was my end of was what I consider my true end. I got the interest, but he's what got me hooked.
He was the first minority player at elite level as well, so I always had a special eye out for him, thinking, okay, there were other like double toasted guys and some other players that were decent, but there was no one who could beat the best players or had the belt, or he was definitely that I was more interested in him, what he's got to say, his promos, his interviews afterwards. Like there was definitely like an energy, a magnetic energy around him. So I stuck with him. So yeah.
So I got
Christian.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
No, Christian. Just to add my 2 cents to the Roka conversation, it was, and Christian mentions this all the time, like without John Roka, it's not as big as it is. The characters aren't as big as they are, and that's fact, like 1,000%. Like as much as I love Andrew Guy is my favorite character, competitor in the whole Schmoedown. Andrew does not exist. The character of Andrew Guy does not exist without John Roka, and Roka brought in that professional wrestling element because he watched it. He knows what's up, or he watches it. He knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. And he knew that Schmoedown needed the extra boost. And seeing this man cut the heel promos he was cutting, and like you said, against Dan didn't have a character till recently, until he came back from the Andrew loss.
Until they teamed up.
Yep.
Yeah, really, until they teamed up. Mm-hmm. So
what character is that?
Oh, okay. So we're gonna have that conversation right now.
He's stone-faced serious. Right
now. No, like let me rephrase.
He's playing the boyfriend. It's about the only character work I've seen is from when Mara walks out and she's like, "You won!" That's the most character I've seen from him all season.
This means is we didn't see any real personality out of Dan until
he showed up, did trivia, and left.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But like that.
That's why that
promo he had.
He's just Dan Murrell.
But the promo he had after the corruption loss was like ridiculous. Like it was. That doesn't happen without
set, by the way. Why couldn't you compete on that set? Where's I'm sorry. I hate that sometimes. Like I've seen Adam Collins will like cut these nice promos in the shed, and then I gotta watch they're
I know. He said I was watching one of his shows last week. He said they're renovating that set. So
lit.
Yeah. But either way, like Roka has done some incredible things, and the fact that like y'all are out here representing him, being a reflection of him in this space is pretty damn cool in my eyes. But Matt, you had a question for them?
I was just going to go on to the next question we have for them.
Please.
And I'm personally curious what are each of your favorite matches?
Ooh.
If you have one.
If you have one, yeah.
So first one that came off the top of my head was the Ken and Sam Whitwer match. You know, that was the Iron Man match. Yeah.
Oh.
When it came down to the last second and like plus whatever, that was fire. What else am I thinking? Oh, I love DiMolante against Ace. Like I was on the edge of my seat. You know, how 12,000 people watching live. I didn't know where it was going. I couldn't believe he missed that question. And then Winston getting emotional afterwards. And you know, Star Wars being my favorite franchise. Like that was all like I was involved, man. Like I was fully invested. What else are we going? Colin, any ideas?
Or you just sat here and talked about the guy for like 35 minutes. His name's John Roca when he first won the title against him.
Yeah.
That's still the answer to the question.
No
That's my answer.
That's pure emotion. That's pure sport. That's pure like Phoenix rising from the ashes. That's everything you want in any sport or anything. And I've seen it a couple times since then with runs, but I haven't quite seen anyone do it with the emotion and the commitment that Roca did with it that first run. I mean, that's got to be it.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing but agreement right there with you, honestly.
How about you, Chris?
Oh, geez. I was hoping this was going to come back to me.
It's tough, man.
There were, I mean, the Iron Man match with Whitwer and Knapsack. Like I remember at Indiana State University. Shout out to all my Sycamores out there. I showed a lot of people that match. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of Star Wars dweebs. I'm like, yo, have y'all heard of the movie Trivia Schmoedown? What's that? Well, let me tell you. So I showed them that match specifically. We sat there, watched the whole goddamn thing, and they're like, I'm like, imagine me watching that shit. Yeah. Like that's what I'm on. I loved really like I don't talk about them as much as I should, but the Shire Wolves against Who's the Boss and the Shire Wolves against Corruption, their last match. Talk about everything the Schmoedown encapsulates in one match. More so the Shire Wolves Corruption match. It was incredible.
That's the Schmoedown.
It's the Schmoedown in a nutshell. You want to describe to someone and show someone what the Schmoedown is. That's what you're doing. You're showing them Shire Wolves Corruption. The Shire Wolves' last match, their last hurrah, win or lose. And my God, what like it wasn't like perfect games all around, but the emotion behind it, the promos that these women, these trailblazers that cut, like, and I still hate seeing the shit that women competitors get in the Schmoedown. Still to this day,
childish.
It's stupid. It's like
childish.
Yeah, some of the best moments and best things to happen in the Schmoedown involved Rachel Cushing, Clark Wolf, Emma Fife. Like, my God, like, we need to, like, Jen Sturger, even though she doesn't even compete, like, we need to cool it.
Stacey Howard.
Stacey Howard. We talked about her earlier.
Chandler.
Brianne Chandler.
The whole Patreon wouldn't even have ran for that first year without her.
So we need to cool it. We need to cool it when it comes to who the hell competes, especially if they're women. My God, because no other group catches shit more. No other faction of people catches shit more than women in the Schmoedown. So the Shire Wolves and Corruption, or Shire Wolves, who's the boss. I mean, I love that Houston match. I wish I was there for Ben and Andrew. I know it's another stomp, but the atmosphere, the crowd brought so much into it. But if I had to pick one as of right now, Corruption and Shire Wolves. And my God, and that's why I think that's why I fell in love with.
I'd watch all these matches right now. All of them, put them on right now. I'm watching all of them.
Yeah.
I was just thinking some of the, you know, when Chris is saying with showing people matches, for some reason, whenever I've done that, I tend to show people Kalinowski matches, like the against Mara, against all the ones against
Mara and Rachel from
Cushing.
the
and they were both ill. Yeah, that was awesome. Mike against Roca, because I think he comes out with, you know, any one of their matches, and he comes out and like looks sharp, you know, leather jacket with the two belts, with his, you know, girlfriend with him, with Chance on the other side, like just talking smack into the microphone. Like that's, for me, that is another reason why I put him kind of in the upper echelon of players in the sport, because for me, it's got to be more than just literally you sitting there asking questions. It's got to be, do you transcend the sport? Do you, you know, what's your personality? You know, your showmanship, basically. And he's got that in abundance. So yeah, I tend to show people my matches as well.
Yeah,
it's so God. That's another reason to why I was talking myself with Mike Kalinowski earlier, like why he should be considered to be one of the better players, competitors, whatever the hell you want to call them in the Schmoedown, because of that reason alone. Like just just look at his catalog of matches. Like post DC movie news, holy shit! Like what? Talk about a 180.
I was wishing he won that 3 belts. I was willing it so much, but he matched up against Snyder. But yeah, that was the closest we've come.
Wouldn't it have been crazy? Mikey 3 belts. Yeah. That would have been insane. I mean, talk about a chance this year.
I called Chancey 3 belts in like early July.
It's coming. It'll come.
I wanted Chancey 3 belts too. As my witness. I was talking about.
I did not. I did not.
The guy. Okay, Chance. I don't know if you guys know. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
23. They call Brendan Meyer the kid. The kid's 27, 28, right? Chance is 23. Like, imagine in 5 years how good he's going to be, like, or 4 years or whatever.
He may end up. I have no issue saying Chance may end up being the GOAT. He might surpass Dan Murrell when Stan Murrell's gone. We might end up having that Jordan LeBron debate with Chance and.
He did it at a different time, though, man. It was a different time with different defenses. There were hand-checking rules.
I don't know who you think is.
Shut up.
I don't know who you think the GOAT is, but I'm a LeBron stan over here.
That's fine. It's completely different. Like, are you going to sit there and have a conversation with me about Tom Brady versus Jerry Rice? No, they're two completely different individuals that do two completely different things on their field of play. It's like appreciate greatness and just witness greatness and shut up. Just stop being so argumentative about everything. Just love things. Not you. I'm talking to trolls. I'm talking to trolls.
Let's say I purposely pushed Chris's buttons because the city from Indiana he's from is like 2 blocks away.
Chicago's my backyard. When I'm in Indiana.
So I also need you to understand how much this week meant to me. Jimmy Butler is a man who has been pushed aside by society and who was done wrong by 2 knees inside of Derrick Rose's body. And if those 2 knees were any other sets of knees, there would be 2.5 more titles hanging in the United Center. And I'm dead serious about that. 2.5, because I'm giving him 2 to 3. I'm giving him 2 to 3. I'm saying 2.5, and I'm taking my Vegasness.
Okay.
He does that. Colin does that a lot.
I throw half all the time. I will throw a 2.5 because it means either 2 or 3.
And if Kyrie and Kevin Love didn't get injured in that finals, we'd be 2.
That was a point I wanted to make. So if Chance is LeBron, right? Mike can either be Kevin Love, he can either be Dwayne Wade, or if he's Anthony Davis, you're like, everyone back away, everyone run.
Put Kyrie in there.
That's hot. AD is LeBron's best teammate ever. We need to
compare Mike Kalinowski to Kyrie Irving.
Well, no,
that is impossible.
You just taking Kevin Love. That's why I'm like, wait, you're gonna throw
because Kevin Love is the low. He's the floor. He's the floor. Kevin Love is the floor of running mates.
Kevin Love is the DC movie news version of Mike Kalinowski.
Yes, and then Anthony Davis is like the 3-time competing.
I would put Kyrie as the floor because Kyrie still showed up and hit that game-winning shot.
I know. I'm saying Kevin didn't show up. That's what I'm saying. That Kevin's like the low point. Dwayne Wade's like the middle ground that can bring the most out of it, and then Anthony's like, I can do it and bring it out at the same time.
If we get Anthony Davis Kalinowski this Friday, corruption's winning.
I remember that.
No, so I'm right. But if you want Kyrie, Mike Kalinowski, you're not getting the best LeBron James because if Kyrie Irving had. Okay, you want to turn this into the conversation? We can turn this into the conversation.
We'll talk
about this later. But what I'm saying is, if you need Kyrie to be the best player on the team, then LeBron is not the best player on the team that night. Kyrie is taking the last shot. LeBron is not. You need LeBron if Chance is. LeBron needs to be the best player if Chance is the best player.
41 points together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look. I know we've done enough basketball analogies. Bogz out here losing his damn mind.
Man, it's getting late, guys.
yeah, it's getting late. My man got to go to bed. Yeah. But I mean, we talked enough Schmoedown, and it's been almost 2 hours. So again, from Matt and myself, we thank you guys for coming on. Anything y'all would like to say to the homies out there?
We still got a little bit more. We got to cover.
Can we do the plugs first?
We can do the plug if you want to do that.
Do the plugs first.
Let them do the
plug.
This is an extension.
Plug y'all show.
Well, you can watch the Ultimate Schmoedown Show when there are more than 2 or 3 matches. We'll go 2 shows a week, sometimes 3, but we are live every Friday. This week, you can find us 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, midnight for my man Bogz, coming in live to do the pregame show for this amazing Schmoedown Throwdown that we got this weekend, where we have the title match between Corruption and Shazam with the undercard of Gray Drake versus Stacey Howard. So we got that. And then, Saturday, we have Eric, Nerd Chronic himself, the promo king, the man, the myth, the legend, joining us Saturday for our post-game reaction show, where you can find myself and Bogz on that as well.
Is it going to be live on Saturday or pre-recorded?
No, that will be posted in the Outlaw Nation and then on the YouTube channel with links going up in all the usual places.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Now, Matt, please, by all means, roll out that blue carpet. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
So part of what got Bogz and I talking is he found our fan league Reely Trivia Showdown, and he watched a few matches. He's like, "Yo, I think I can compete in this." He's like, "I've seen some of these matches. I think I can compete in this." And then he kind of talked to some of you guys, and it looks like now we got a few people coming into a fan league. So since we have you with us on air right now, one of our competitors actually recorded a special message just for you.
And Life Force, released in 1985 based on Colin Wilson's novel The Space Vampires, was notable for a creature that mainly appeared as a comely and naked young woman. The end. Hey Bogz. Hey Colin. You know, it's Halloween, and once in a while I like to just give back to the community and read a little bedtime story for the kids. So I thought, what better way to greet you to the Reely Trivia Showdown than read you a little story and tuck you in tonight. You know, I gotta give you a lot of credit for coming in here and getting mixed up in this. It's pretty crazy. It can be a little intimidating, but take it from me. As a guy who started from the bottom and made it all the way to the tippy top, and then came back a little bit down, and not quite up there, but it's about down here, about 75% of the way up there. Take it from me. What you want to do? You want to do your homework. You want to do your research. You want to eat a lot of vegetables. You want to stay hydrated. And you want to get lots and lots of sleep. You don't want to go getting this too tired. And the most important part, don't forget to have fun. I look forward to seeing what you guys are capable of. I look forward to mixing it up with you. Welcome to the Reely Trivia Showdown. I encourage you to try your best. Now, if you recall, what was my little tips? One of my hot tips? Tippy top hot tips. That's right. Get lots of sleep. So, Colin, Bogz, good night. And sweet dreams.
Nice. Fire.
Sorry,
Nice gown he's got. But yeah,
that's
okay.
a kimono. That's
Okay.
not a gown. That's a kimono.
Well.
Let's give out shouts. That was silky smooth too. I know.
Okay. So is
Nice
he
blower.
been a champion before?
So he's actually the person I won my belt against.
Okay.
So he was the other semifinalist. He was the Rager back then, and then he decided to tone it down after his loss, and he became the Encourager.
Right.
That's why you got that written in Encourage
Okay.
next to Rager. So, but yeah, he's happy to have new blood in it. Because when you got such a small roster to start off with, you playing a lot of the same people over and over again.
Sure.
So he's excited to have new competitors. I know Chris definitely is excited to have new competitors because he's played the same 3 people 6 times or 5 times.
It's
Well,
frustrating.
we'll help you out with that.
Yeah, talking about facing the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
My Lord Jesus. I played Matt twice. I played the underdog, Nick Molbach, twice. I played, Jesus Christ, I played Mr. Happy Sunday, Toby Barkwell, twice. I'm tired of facing the same lame-ass people. I want some new faces. And when I found out that Bogz not only wanted to be a part of, or be on Spin from the Real one time, again, I appreciate y'all coming on, but Bogz wanted to also compete in Reely Trivia, I said, "Oh, that's great, Matt. Who's he gonna play?" And he said to me, like, "You." And I said,
"Oh, damn,
fantastic."
Okay.
So
well, I guess that's that little thing spoiled because we still had to record the other stuff.
Screw that. We're right here. We're here. All I want to say is that, like, look, I'm so glad the Encourager wants you guys to get some sleep, because not only does Bogz really have to go to sleep, but like, just rest up, man. Because yeah, I get better and better as I go, do my thing.
Okay.
But you ain't gonna get the same Chris Anthony Lopez has been playing Reely Trivia so far. So just want to let you know that. But we'll chat more soon about Reely Trivia. We'll chat.
Okay.
More.
Okay. Nice.
Hell yeah, brother.
You ain't seen the British beef yet, so let me. We're coming for the belts. We're coming for your show. We're coming for I'm just playing.
The Maho show?
No, I would have stuck with it. But Collins whooped me in these practice sessions. So I'm staying.
He's our inner geekdom though. So we did a lot of inner geekdom, and that's
yeah,
mine.
Okay, the champ is here. The champ is here.
I've been brushing up on inner geekdom. I've been doing a Marvel movie marathon. So
yeah, we need to get. I don't know
marathon needed, baby. The marathon's going on in my head all the time.
Tell me about it,
I got a Star Wars marathon going on in my head all the time, and I've only gotten my chosen category of Star Wars one time, and it saved my ass against him.
So you need to get one of our producers, Mike, as well. I think he competes in like 3 other.
Mike is terrifying. I want nothing to do with Mike. I want nothing to do with Mike. Mike will come in here and run this whole ship down. Keep him as far away from this place. If you want any chance of winning a belt, Mike will run you up and down the court.
Funny, Colin, that's your first opponent,
man.
He's been stitched up there.
Hell yeah, brother.
But Chris, what's your record?
0-1. That's my name. 0-1, Colin.
0-1. What's my record?
Yeah.
My record is what am I? Tune 3? Tune 2?
So you played 6 matches, you said, right? Oh.
I played 5 because one was a triple threat.
And it's 2 and 3.
Yeah, so 2 and 3 out of them.
Yep. And I'm
2 and 4 sound.
2 and 4. You know what it sounds like? Sounds unrealistic. So that's what we're gonna.
I just don't want to lose my. I don't want to be 0-1. That's like.
I don't want to lose to the other Schmoedown show. How do you think I feel?
When we discuss it, he's like, "Man, you just put some added pressure on me because now I got to beat the other Schmoedown show. I got to have Spin for the Real on my back."
And now they're like the nicest guys. I'm like, damn, like I can't come out here swinging, bringing the heat because like, what the hell?
Damn, I'd love to call a match too, because that's like my thing. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
I'm the entrance guy. I'd love to get a good old entrance in there, and like,
hell yeah, bro. That's what we like to hear.
My favorite entrance happened by accident.
It's so stupid. It was against me too. It was so dumb.
It was the championship match against him. It was like we filmed it right after the Batman trailer came out, so I used a fan edited version of that song as my intro music, and my mic glitched out and it made my voice deeper.
It pitched him down.
Oh, word.
Yep. And I did my promo first, so like I went first.
Like up here, and then he was down here.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
So Taylor and Nick were on the table that match. They stopped after they're in the middle of my interview, and they stopped like, "Matt, seriously, are you doing this on purpose?" I'm like, "Doing what?" They're like, your voice, it's like all the way down. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm talking.
It threw off my groove. All momentum in my head was gone immediately after that.
Groove.
You threw off my groove. Thank you.
Literally, all I did was unplug my mic and plug it back in. And I'm like, how's this?
Of course.
And they're like, what the fuck?
Well, Matt, we should call their match.
Ooh, I like that.
That seems fair, right? I'm kind of like his Mick, right? Okay, yeah. Mick.
I love that idea, actually.
Oh, Rock. Fantastic!
Yo, Rock, you got this, Rock. You got this.
See, I mean,
I can't talk you up, man. I can't.
Well,
I'm talking you up, man.
You're not my confidence, Colin. You whoop me, so I can't say nothing. Then.
I gotta then no better person to have you in the ring.
Yeah, who do you think I'm talking to? The man that whooped me twice. This man beat me twice.
I did once. The first time it was a complete knockout. Like the first.
It was I don't even want to talk about the first match.
Bogz is trying to paint a picture here. I think he's trying to play a little coy because he walked into my Inner Geekdom and specifically we watched some matches that had a lot of Harry Potter questions, and Bogz has been very adamant throughout the entire Inner Geekdom tournament. Though the sound of his voice may deceive you, he is not a fan of Harry Potter. Not a fan, but like he just isn't up on. He's just not up on the Potter verse as
the club, brother.
Neither is
me.
Right, but no, but I'm sorry.
Okay,
but, I've literally read the books like 10 times each, and I've seen the movies. It was part of my childhood. So let's unbox it. I whooped them only because I literally have a PO box at Hogwarts.
Same, homie. I have 9 wands.
Baby, I am literally. You are messing with the head boy of Gryffindor house. You understand me right now? You understand me right now? Look at me. Gryffindor. I got residence, dog. I got my own private bathroom up in this bitch.
Oh my god, the head boy.
Right, because that's not how it works, man. That's not how it works.
That sounds like a good nickname. That sounds like a good nickname.
The head boy.
I like it.
I got a Gryffindor. I got a couple Gryffindor things we could run up in this.
Yeah, that's the confidence I like to hear.
Yeah, but if it's singles, I might be totally screwed.
There's
just some categories for me where I'm like, oh no.
Hey, that's Chris, so don't worry about it.
What's up? High five, bullet screen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
yes, it's bad.
But I appreciate you guys coming on. Truly, both of us appreciate y'all coming on, talking Schmoedown with us for the last 2 hours. My man Bax has the heaviest eyes on the planet. We're about to we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. But please, if you're watching, go ahead and check out what they're doing at the Ultimate Schmoedown Show. Please, they're obviously the nicest guys ever. Go ahead and check them out. After you get done watching this, they're out here being mentored by one of the Schmoedown's best. So go ahead and do that every single Friday and on Saturday this week for that post-game show with Nerd Chronic. My God, I still can't believe that. King promo, Nerd Chronic.
I know, we're lucky. Very lucky. Thank you guys for having us on, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of everything you guys do.
Shout out to John Barr, too, who couldn't be here. Shout out to John Barr, the other co-host of the Ultimate Schmoedown Show, at John Barr Tweets. That man is semi-famous. He told the entire LA City Council to fuck off when they had their open call.
You guys should check his Twitter. Check
his Twitter. It's his pinned tweet.
He's Twitter.
You remember back in June or July, there were the people who were going on the LA the open city council meetings and just giving them hell with the police chief on there, and John just gave them the business, dog. I mean, that dude just lays into him. So that's our guy, John, and find him and us. We're at TUSS Pod everywhere on Instagram and all that, and Twitter and all that stuff. So find us there. We're everywhere.
That's so dope. Hell yeah, brother.
All right. So
now keep all the good work, boys. I'm a big fan of everything you guys do. So,
really, y'all are
thank
awesome.
you.
We love y'all. It's great.
Thank you.
Colin, like I said, if you want to hop on any of these other shows, I would love to see you get really drunk with Connor, which is a new show that's first episode drops this Saturday night.
Yeah. That's so what's the second episode about?
So here's Connor's rules about really drunk. The guest comes up with the topic. The guest picks the drink. The guest comes up with the topic. You just drink and talk and go with it.
Okay.
He's in. That's it.
That's all.
Book him in.
Drunk talking, I'm in.
He's like, I get to pick the topic. I get to pick. Hell yeah.
Easy as that.
Hell yeah, brother.
So what would we even talk about? I don't even know. There's so many things to talk about.
All right. So, folks, with that, remember, spin from the reel, not the peg. Signing off, I'm Matt. That's Chris. And those are the amazing boys from the Ultimate Schmoedown Contest. Ultimate Schmoedown Show. Colin and Bogz. And this was another Who Are They Real Entertainment production. Have a good night.